Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And now we're taking a look at Chicago's 30 for the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. Originally released in Spain by the publisher Topo Soft. It was translated into English and published by US Gold in the UK, and was also released for the Amstrad CPC, Commodore 64 and the MSX. Original cassette price for this Spectrum version was $8.99 and the disc price £12.99. And as you can see, you got we got this cinema screen here and a rather jaunty little tune going on here, and it's pretty good 48k beeper tune if you all things considered. But let's just get on with the game, shall we? So, programmer Jose Manuel Munoz, graphics Roberto P. Aceses, and music by Gominolas. And you can use keys, Kempston or Sinclair joysticks, although you'll see you actually press T to select keys and J to play. That's because, unfortunately, when the game was translated into English, they didn't actually change the keys to something that made a bit more sense in English, because the keyboard in Spanish is teclado and play is jugar. It's spelled with a J at the start. It's jugar because of the way you pronounce the J in Spanish. But anyway, the Chicago's 30 came out in 1988, and as you probably guessed by the title, it's set in the 1930s in Basingstoke. No, Chicago. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. But enough of that. Let's just get the game going. And it uses the usual QAOP, although it's N for it's M for fire. But so I'll just press J to play. So here's Elliot, the guy we're controlling, and I've died already because I was spawned right in front of an enemy. And I've just been killed by that guy in the boxes, who was a little bit hard to see because of the monochrome and the detailed backgrounds. And you can also see that if you look very carefully, you actually see that there are some people in the cinema auditorium, and those people are actually the visual representation of your lives in this game. Every time you die, one of the people watching the film leaves the cinema. So once the film's worst critics have all left the cinema, it's game over and I've died again. And you can duck down like this, but the problem is, it's for some reason a lot of the bullets go straight through your enemies, the enemies, whenever this is done. See, look at that. Now, I was just trying something, because when I was reading up on reviews that this got back in the day, one said that you can't be killed if you're lying down on the ground if the enemies walk past you, and that what has happened then proved that was absolute tosh, because that guy just walked into me and I died. See, look, I nearly, and I don't know what killed me there. That's another problem I have with this game. Sometimes you can die and you're just left scratching your head as to what the hell actually happened. Oh, that's time I thought that if that guy fired a low bullet and you need to jump over those. And you can actually go onto the upper level, only way you see these. Oh, for God's sake. Well, only way you see those, only way you see these staircases going upwards. For some reason he jumps up them. See, look, I'm clearly hitting that guy. He won't. For God's sake. Sometimes hitting those guys behind the boxes is a lot harder than it should be. If you're on the upper level, you got the problem that... Oh, bloody hell. If you're on the other level, as you saw, it's nigh on impossible to hit anything. And even if you're not, you still have to be stood in just the right place. Otherwise. See, look, I'm clearly hitting him. He's not dying. You literally have to be standing in exactly the right place, and that's another problem. This game's hit detection is a bit hit and miss. Excuse the pun there. Especially when trying to shoot things diagonally. See, I've just had the same problem again. But it's good that the game's not deathly silent. Oh, for God's sake. That's another problem, the way they've done the multi-directional controls in this game. In order to fire upwards or diagonally upwards or anything like that, you have to press the fire button first, then use the directions. Because if you do it any other way, it's not going to work. You'll just jump like I just did there. And I'm having another pain in the arse trying to shoot those people behind the boxes because of how accurate you have to be where you stand when firing diagonally up at them. Oh, you can see a manhole there. Sometimes those manholes fly skywards like that one on the right there, and the guy pops out, and you have to shoot him before he shoots you. Don't worry, as you saw, you can walk over the... You can walk over the manhole covers. You don't have to worry about jumping over them, which I'm kind of glad about, because jumping can leave you vulnerable to the people on the upper level if you're on that level. It's weird how sometimes you can shoot an enemy and his bullet stops the moment you kill him, and other times it doesn't. That's another thing about this game. It's rather inconsistent. Oh, crikey, that was good. Will you die? See, look, the number of times bullets were being fired at that guy, and they almost all of them went straight through him. Yeah, and you have unlimited ammo, so you don't have to worry about that either. Another thing is you can still be firing diagonally, but if you're not careful, you can still be firing in the diagonally or upwards. But if you're not careful, you can duck down and still be firing in that same direction. And I nearly got killed by a guy who wouldn't die. And now I'm on to the second stage where I'm in this car, and it only lasts for a short time. So unless you poke your head out and shoot. So you can't just be driving along merrily and not shoot at anything, otherwise the car will just disappear after a very short time, and I mean a very short time. Obviously, look again, bullets going straight through that guy. Good job you have unlimited ammo, so at least you can still poke your head out to try and keep the car for as long as possible. Not particularly fast car, is it? I mean, I know it's 1930s, but come on, even I know that the cars in 1930 were faster than this. I mean, a kid could get out of the car and run faster than this. Adverts for... Oh, I've lost... Oh, God, my car's about to fall apart. Oh, for God's sake. But at least I gain an extra life somewhere along the line. Good sakes, I mean, bullets again going straight through them. Oh god, luckily I was standing in just the right place to kill that. Yeah. Oh god. Oh, I was afraid of that. Should have waited. One more go. Oh yeah, press. Oh damn it, I pressed the wrong. I'm just gonna have to wait until I die. I accidentally pressed K instead of J to start the game. See, it's a bit confusing when the key presses weren't properly translated into English, so I just got to remember to press T to get it back to keys and then press J to start again. Sorry about this. Yeah, the K key unfortunately selects Kempston joystick, and I accidentally pressed that instead of J to start the game. So pressing T to get it to set to keys, and just J. Now another thing, the game says that you can throw grenades, but I can't get them to work at all. Mind you. God, that was lucky. I was in just the right place to get that guy in that behind the box. Luckily, there's unlimited ammo, as I said. Cool, that was lucky. Seems like it's definitely best if you can to try and get directly underneath the guys that appear in windows or behind boxes, because as you've seen from what I've tried earlier in the review, shooting diagonally upwards to try and hit them is very oh god, is actually really hard to do because of bad hit detection. I like the way the bullets sort of follow the scrollings. Don't jump. Come on, stop having bullets going straight through, guys. Goodness me. When you're not actually on the upper ledge, the enemies that are walking along the upper ledge don't really pose any great threat unless you accidentally jump because of the slightly iffy control system they've used for. I don't like the way it does that to signal the end of the level, because you can think you've died. See, I'm not even running those guys over. I mean, I can't kill them in the car because of that shocking hit detection. See, look, I'm firing and the bullets are going straight through him again. straight through them. You know, bitch face. Oh no, a car's about to break. Oh, give me a... Go on, have I... Now, did I die or have I think I died. So couldn't I have had a bit of invulnerability or something that showed that the car was literally just about to disappear, because the way it just disappears and then suddenly you get killed by something that was literally just... Oh, get lost! That was just about to hit you, as happened there. You couldn't avoid it because you knew the car was disappearing, but not exactly when. Oh, stop going! Bullets going right through people, for God's sake! Oh, God alive! Lost life. According to what I've read about this game, there are only 4 levels in it. So, and if once you got used to the weird controls, then you might find that if you're lucky, you actually get quite a long way in it. And my worry is that the game could be considered to be a bit too easy. Oh God! Oh, sodding hell! Okay, so that's Chicago's 30 for the ZX Spectrum. It's all right. It's not amazing, and a wild guess suggests to me that it probably wouldn't take you all that long before you completed it. And goodness knows how you get grenades to work. I mean, I just couldn't get them to work at all. Even when I looked up how to do it, I still couldn't get it to work. I mean, it says to press fire and up and down at the same time, but it just wasn't. It just didn't seem to be doing any grenades at all, unless I completely missed something. Or unless you actually don't have them to start with and don't get them until later, I don't know. But anyway, final verdict time. Graphics, nice and detailed, sometimes a little bit too detailed. Sometimes bullets and even occasionally enemies can be a little bit hard to see. This is another problem that I pointed out in previous reviews of mine, such as the Spectrum reviews of Gemini Wing and especially Ninja Spirit. Nice smooth animation. As you can see, there's a layer of parallax with the ground there. It's going by faster than the background behind it, and generally everything's quite well animated. So I can't really complain about the visuals. The main gaming area is monochrome for obvious reasons, largely monochrome for obvious reasons, or at the very least keeps colour very sparingly used, such as that yellow bit at the top there and the white at the bottom. Sound, well, it's minimal. We're talking about 48K Spectrum here. Nice music a bit at the intro there, especially for a 48K Spectrum. Remember, the 48K Spectrum didn't have a dedicated sound chip, so it was all done via the CPU. Apart from that, the vast majority of the sounds that you hear in the game seem to just be the gunfire sound effects whenever you shoot. I mean, I don't know whether the grenades, if you made sound, because obviously you never saw. I either couldn't get to work or didn't have them to work during this review. Gameplay. Well, I'm sort of hung between whether or not it's a bit too easy, or a bit too frustrating. It's sort of that halfway mix, because once you got the hang of the controls, you would eventually, but it's a real pain in the arse when you have to actually hold down fire before you direct to the gun, rather than being able to just direct your gun beforehand or anything like that. I mean, if they'd done it the same way as in something like Midnight Resistance, or for instance, and perhaps had a separate button for jump. But it's very easy to accidentally jump because you forgot to press the fire button first before selecting to go up, or diagonally up. And there's also a problem that bullets can be hard to see in there. There are even some occasions where you can be wandering along, and then suddenly you'll die, and you won't have a clue why. You don't know whether you didn't see a bullet because of the busy backgrounds, or whether something else really weird happened. But I've played this several times before recording this, and doing those. There were several times when I just died, and I was left scratching my head as to what actually killed me. So I'm going to give Chicago's 30 for the Spectrum 6 out of 10. It's a playable and polished enough product, but it just needed a bit more work and a bit more of a challenge. I mean, I like the cinema presentation and the fact that the audience represents the number of lives you've got left. That's a nice unique touch that helps the game to stand out a little bit more from the crowd. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that review. Catch you on another video soon. Texie88 out.